Hey everyone, it's your boy Dollar, aka Rich Taylor, bringing you another video. Hump Day Heroes number 18, episode 18 already. This is popcorn culture, bringing you content to update you with comic book adaptation, media news, movie, animation, streaming series, comic speculation, investment, trading cards, you name it, pop culture, we got it. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you. Make sure you double click that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content forthwith. First on the docket, Tony Gilroy teases Andor season 2 details ahead of the series premiere. And basically, what he is saying is that this is the most home I've ever made. I've always had a very nimble approach to this. I never take a job in front of another job. I've always just done one thing at a time and moved around. Never made a company or got a letterhead, or I never had a production deal or anything. This is the longest I've ever spent anywhere. And this article was written by Charles Murphy. Tony Gilroy, just to let you know, he is the creator of Andor. The 3 episode debut was today, or yeah, I think it was tonight or last night, this morning, whatever. And he is confirming the 12 episode series for season 1. And he is also saying, according to Gilroy, that just a fraction of what's to come over the remaining 8 to 9 episodes. And many of those characters are heading to season 2. That's huge. So a lot of the characters. Okay, here's some more quote from him. What's cool is that we'll be introducing new characters in the second half. That there's 25 to 30 characters of import that we're carrying forward from one season to the next. You already know them. You already know a lot about them. That's pretty cool. So long story short, yeah, so there's going to be a lot of characters that we've been speculating on and investing on that are going to show up in season 1, but he is saying that, by the second half of the series into the next season, the other 25 to 30 characters he has on slate will be divided between the two. So take that with a grain of salt, of course, but it came straight from the creator's mouth. All right, so we have. I guess we've already covered this a few weeks, maybe a month ago, and this is an updated story. But basically, the Legends toy for Wakanda Forever, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I believe they're either released or FOC passed for the action figures, and now we can see the actual figures along with an up close, detailed view of the pan shot of the character, along with a full 360. But according to this person that's writing this from, let's see here, Murphy's Multiverse. Okay. Many were surprised when the first look of Ironheart's armor and Riri Williams' first live-action debuted in Black Panther 2 looked nothing like her original comic armor, which that's wrong, because the first armor, the Mark 1 armor that we saw, the very first glimpse that we got with the sneak peek leaks from the set, that looked almost very close, if not identical, to the armor that she shows up in Invincible Iron Man number 9, where Riri makes her first full appearance. So that part is inaccurate. Anyways, with her with Ironheart and her sweet self to have her own Disney Plus series in the near future, it would have made sense to build up to the more comic accurate design. So what I think what he's saying here is that the more modern design rather than the comic design, because when you see this figure, it doesn't look like anything I've ever seen Ironheart in. But these scoopers or these reporters, and remember, they're just journalists that are just trying to get a break into Hollywood, and this is where these people are starting. Anyways, while it was a shame that it was spoiled instead of kept as a surprise during Wakanda Forever's theater run, that has become the norm when it comes to the merchandise early releases, and that is the Marvel Legends. Still, the design looks great and stands out, even though many are worried that it could be too close to that of Tony Stark's iconic Iron Man armor. It also seems that she'll being Riri Williams, Ironheart, use some new types of weaponry at her disposal, as first seen in the images shared by at Sea of Creativity on Twitter. And he tweeted this back on September 20th. So what is today? 21st? That was yesterday, but we already saw this. We saw this is like over a week, maybe 3 weeks old. But I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. Here it is again. Okay. Remember, I believe it was the pickup show, maybe 3 weeks ago. We showed this exact design, and that I don't remember that color or that design in the comics. I don't know about you guys, but I guess the only thing that sticks in my head is her recent Ironheart stuff, and then also the stuff that's the suit that she's wearing after she's wearing that big Mark I suit from the first Invincible Iron Man run with her first, or the second run with her first appearance in it. And then the next run, where issue 1, she's on the cover, doesn't look like this suit. In my opinion, it doesn't look like that suit as well, but I guess it's a little closer than the Mark I suit. Anyways, long story short, yeah, we already saw this, but I don't think that's very comic accurate. I just think that that's MCU accurate. Let me know am I crazy? Do you guys? What do you guys think? Leave me a comment or some feedback in the comment section, and maybe I'm just blanking right now, but yeah. All right, it's time for a new segment. We're just going to call these speculation and these scoops. We're going to call them rumor mills. The reason why we're going to call them rumor mills is because their sources, we don't know where their sources are. They don't name their sources, and some of these scoops are just crazy. So let's get into it. And this will be for MCU and DCEU. So first, we're going to start with John Constantine. So I know you guys have heard, but Keanu Reeves is set to once again take on the role of John Constantine in an upcoming sequel. He'll reunite with director Francis Lawrence, who helmed the original 2005 comic adaptation of the popular DC character. Akiva Goldsman is writing the screenplay and is also producing through Weed Road Pictures. J.J. Abrams and Hannah Mangella are also attached to produce the sequel of a film that was released almost 17 years ago. And by the way, Constantine is, from that 2004, 2005, the first one, I love that movie. I must have seen that movie like 20 times in the last 15 years. I still love watching it. Anyways, let me get back to it. There were rumblings around 2020 that they might be interested in doing a sequel to Constantine, but when Abrams started working on his own Justice League Dark universe, which we'll get a little bit into that in detail in a second, with its own take on John Constantine, it seemed like they moved on from the project. The character, John Constantine, has seen a resurgence in popularity with an NBC series starring Matt Ryan, not the football player, but I believe he's a British actor, who would later on join the CW's Arrowverse, and even with the Sandman's Johanna Constantine on Netflix. First appearance, I believe, is in Sandman 13. It's one of those 13, 17, something like that, who was played by Jenna Coleman, who I thought was great, by the way. Let's get into a few of John Constantine's first appearance and key issues. I'm not going to get into all of them, but I just want to go ahead and go down the most important ones, in my opinion, that I think you should have in your collection. This is Swamp Thing. I think this is issue number 25, and this is your first cameo appearance of John Constantine. He's not named. He's not wearing traditional costume. It's just kind of one panel, and it's like the same face and hair as this book. This is the infamous, I guess you could say, bronze, copper, modern grail Swamp Thing, issue number 37. That is your first appearance of John Constantine in full, with full reveal. A must-have. This book is highly overlooked. This is Crisis on Infinity Earth, issue number 4. Here pictured, I have a Canadian newsstand version. This is actually a scan of a copy I used to have that I sold on Whatnot about 6 months ago for, I don't know, maybe $9. But yeah, this is your second full appearance of John Constantine. There are, like I said, Canadian price variants. There might be Mark Jewelers, but double check that. But Canadian price variants, and it would be a 95-cent tag on the top right corner rather than the 75 cents. Newsstand direct, Canadian price variant, possible Australian price variant. This is like a $1 book. Maybe, I mean, on eBay, you can get it for a really high grade one for $12 or under. I think this is a good play, especially if Swamp Thing 37 eventually just is completely out of everybody's budget. It's already an expensive book, but check it out. Here is another book I think you should have in John Constantine's, in my opinion, the most active key issues that have spec value long term. This is Justice League Dark number 1. We just spoke on that. This is your first appearance of the Justice League Dark, the team appearance, along with the universe, I believe. You have Hellblazer, John Constantine, Shade the Changing Man, Madame Xanadu, Deadman, and Zatanna. And Justice League Dark is currently in development for HBO Max. J.J. Abrams is producing, as we were just speaking on. So just to go over it one more time, Justice League Dark 1, and it doesn't matter, direct. I think there's a variant for it too. Double check that, but I think it's pretty cool variant as well. I love this book. Anytime I see this book, I pick it up. I just love it. I don't even care if it gets adapted to TV or film. I love it. All right, so the rumor mill is churning. John Bernthal's Punisher rumored to return for 2024 Disney Plus show. So there is some rumblings in the, I guess you could say, the Marvel Scooper world that Jessica Jones is possibly going to be replaced by John Bernthal's Punisher. Not indefinite, just I guess you could say timeline wise. But let me go ahead and read it verbatim. So what a hero might be rescued by the MCU next, talking about the Netflix characters, Iron Fist, the Defenders, that iteration, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and the Punisher, and everybody else, Daredevil. Well, many want that to be Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones, including me. I love Jessica Jones. Another strong contender, potentially even more than Jones, now is John Bernthal's Punisher. Not only do fans really want this to happen, but so does Charlie Cox himself. He plays Daredevil in the Netflix season 1 through 3, and he was also in Spider-Man 3 recently, and I believe he's about to make a cameo in tomorrow's She-Hulk series, but don't quote me on that. Could be next week. The actor, Charlie Cox, previously noted how Bernthal is, quote, tremendous in the role, and that he has no idea, quote, who could do a better version, end quote, of Frank Castle. Totally agree. I'm on the same page as that. The actor behind the skull seems up for the possibility, at least according to the past interviews. One stipulation the star being John Bernthal, made clear would have to happen is that whatever hypothetical project he returned to, Bernthal, would need to be dark enough in order to do the character justice, Frank Castle's Punisher justice. And I can see that. At one point, Daredevil and Ahsoka actress Rosie, man, I forgot her name. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. A Daredevil and Ahsoka actress excited the world when she seemingly let it slip that John Bernthal's return was truly in the works. In actuality, the actress admitted she had just heard the rumor from a fan earlier in the day and that she was privy to any further information. Sounds like a spin to me. I guess Feige must have texted her, strike one. I want to say Rosie O'Donnell, but it's not Rosie O'Donnell. It's Rose Dawson. Anyways, now it seems that news fans want to be true. Punisher is born again. So let's get back into this. For those crossing their fingers to see John Bernthal's Punisher once again, then it might be safe to start holding on to that hope. Previously, it had been rumored from the Hollywood Reporter that Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones would be making a return in the upcoming Disney Plus series, the Daredevil series. Now, it seems that the industry insider Casey Walsh of Geeks Worldwide, which I understand, I understand, may be hinting at a change in course. Now, this is where it gets interesting. In a tweet, Casey Walsh suggested that another popular character would be showing up in the upcoming Daredevil Born Again Disney Plus series, replacing, quote, the rumored role Jessica Jones had, end quote. He goes on in the tweet and says, quote, I know I was in denial about this, but it sounds like another popular character will show up as well due to the scheduling conflict, as it appears they will take the rumored role Jessica Jones had, end quote. So a scheduling conflict. So Kristen Ritter had a scheduling conflict. The folks over at Cape Time podcast gave a little more context on the matter, clearly noting that the 18-episode series would be, quote, reintroducing, end quote, some of the roster of the Marvel's Netflix group of heroes. In this case, first up would be John Bernthal's Punisher. Cape Time podcast goes on and says, basically, Born Again is reintroducing the Netflix characters to the mainstream, and they plan to bring in Ritter, but there's a scheduling problem with Ritter and the MCU for Born Again. So they needed another Netflix star from one of the Marvel series to fill the role. It's John Bernthal. Would it be shocked if Ritter cameos, though? End quote. That sounds like somebody backpedaling, playing it safe. I hate that. Anyways, the last time Bernthal was seen on the screen as the Punisher was back in 2019 when the second season of his Netflix show aired. If he does indeed make his return in Daredevil Born Again, it will have been 5 years since the world last saw Frank Castle's Punisher played by John Bernthal. Given all of the rumors of Bernthal being among the top 10 contenders to be revived from the Netflix era, all of this would make perfect sense. The character also works perfectly with Daredevil both on screen and thematically. Their chemistry, meaning John Bernthal and Charlie Cox, also happens to be stellar amongst each other. What will Frank Castle's role be? I know you guys are all thinking that. Oh, War Machine, Punisher. Nah, hold your horses. Assuming the show takes the Punisher as canon, MCU canon, even if only selectively after Bernthal's second season, Frank Castle had resumed his self-appointed duties of getting criminals off the street any way he knew how. So with such a blank slate, Marvel Studios can basically do whatever they please with the character. The dynamic that works best between Punisher and Daredevil is when the two of them have the same goal. But the morality behind how they get there is entirely different. Maybe Matt Murdock once again be trying to take down Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, while Frank Castle is trying to do the same thing, but instead intends to put him in the ground. They go on to say that given the climate of today's society, the Punisher is a particular hard character and symbol to juggle, which is obvious. That was on our minds, as your minds and mine as well. Many thought Castle might put it on ice for a while due to his very nature clashing with many issues going on today, political. You know, if you're not following him on Twitter, then you wouldn't know if he's political or not. He's pretty political. But anyways, with many issues going on today, it seems that might not be the case in this situation. Either way, it'll be great to have Bernthal's incredible performance back on screen, especially in MCU canon. But hopefully Kristen Ritter can come aboard the next train bound for the MCU. So very cool. There is a first Daredevil Punisher meeting. Let me see here if I can find it real quick. Let's see here. Daredevil. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and we'll revisit that at the end of the show. The book's probably not moving, but like I said, these are just rumors. These are not, confirmations of any kind. All right, let's move on to the next. All right, so an MCU rumor reveals the new Infinity Stones of the Multiverse Saga have appeared in upcoming phases. So basically what's going on is that the MCU has new Infinity Stones, according to this new rumor from September 16th, 2022. While it may still be relatively early days for the Multiverse Saga, the MCU story finds itself in an interesting spot. Fans have gotten a taste of what it has come in at least the next half decade for Marvel storytelling. But some have felt that the last few entries in the franchise have lacked the punch that many of the Infinity Saga packed. I just want to take a side note. And by the way, I really wish that the TVA didn't ruin those Infinity Stones and make them like paperweights and like they don't work or what have you. God, it just in my mind, it decredited everything that happened in Phase 3. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Anyways, revealed at San Diego Comic-Con 2022, it is all leading up to something grand. So far, audiences have gotten a taste of the multiverse with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Loki, Season 1 and 2, met a new Captain America in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and about to have his own solo film in Captain America 4, also known as Captain America New World Order. Gotten hints at an even bigger story on the way with titles like Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and Ms. Marvel. But where's it all leading? Sure, films like Fantastic Four, Avengers, The Kang Dynasty, Avengers Secret War are all on the calendar, but what sort of greater overachieving narrative is being told within the franchise right now? And what are the things, a la the Infinity Stones, that are holding it all together? Well, a new rumor suggests that Marvel Studios, aka MCU, the MCU has already begun laying pieces for the Multiverse Saga, just like they did with the Infinity Stones with Phase 1 through 3. A new report from the Illuminati suggests that the Bengal seen in Ms. Marvel, let's go back into it, and the Ten Rings from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will serve an important purpose in the narrative of the Multiverse Saga, similar to how the Infinity Stones were vital to the Infinity Saga. The site, Illuminati, wrote that their sources told them the mystical weapons are connected and were left on Earth by an alien race some time ago. It is also that said these weapons will be pieces that tie the upcoming MCU story together, just like the Infinity Stones did in the Infinity Saga Phase 1 through 3. It is also noted that there are no details as of yet on who could have these weapons behind, but the report did mention the Kree, the Makluans, and even the Celestials are various possibilities. Marvel's multiverse MacGuffins, with many still questioning where exactly this new era of Marvel storytelling is leading, this report seemingly drops the first hints, or at least, very least, it indicates what could be the connective tissue of the next 5 or so years the MCU is telling, a la film, TV, and animation series. Just like how the Infinity Stones followed the MCU story throughout the Infinity Saga, Phase 1 through 3, these mysterious weapons, that's the Bengal and the Ten Rings, a la the supposed new Infinity Stones, quote unquote, these mysterious weapons are seemingly going to be a key to everything going forward. And whether this report is true or not from the Illuminati will likely be decided pretty quickly as Marvel works through its next few releases. If another odd weapon of this sort shows up, then surely this rumor is all but confirmed. But what could it all be leading to? And how is it going to play into the larger Marvel Studios canon via Phase 5 through 8? Well, instead of aliens, could these be artifacts from the multiverse planted here by some multiversal beings the layman may call aliens? That would make a lot of sense, seeing as this is the multiverse saga after all. The connection between these two weapons, being the Bengal and the Ten Rings, specifically has been touched on before, with the Ten Rings logo showing up in Miss Marvel. I'm sure you guys saw that. It was like an Easter egg. It's pretty clear. So there has to be some validity there, right? I guess, but it's still a rumor. Plus, maybe this could also tie in Shang-Chi's post-credit scene where Wong gathered a couple of Avengers because of a, quote, signal, end quote, that had been sent by titular Ten Rings. For now, this is just a report, just a rumor, but it seems as though it could hold some weight as the MCU starts making its way through Phase 5 and 6. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so just what I thought. I didn't really ever do any research on Tom Hardy, but I had a feeling that he was either a wrestler or he rolled jiu-jitsu. Had nothing to do with that Warrior movie that, like, you see on the right. That's a little take from that movie. I believe it's called The Warrior, where they're him and his brother fight in that no holds bar tournament. But anyways, just recent. This came out today. Tom Hardy competes in a martial arts tournament, wins first place. It's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu martial art tournament, and I'll get to that in a second. But Tom Hardy is a well-known actor in Hollywood, to say the least. But most recently, he was Eddie Brock in both Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage. Before that, biggest hits were Dark Knight Rises, Inception, and Warrior. Warrior is what we were just talking about. Usually in many of his performances, he plays a tough guy, with Eddie Brock being somewhat of an exception since there's Venom in play. Tom Hardy competes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Dark Knight Rises and Venom star Tom Hardy has shown the world that his combat experience extends far beyond the screen. On Saturday, September 17th, the star participated in UMAC Milton Janus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Open in Oak Grove Sports Hall in Milton Keynes in the UK. An epic photo of Hardy participating in the event can be seen on his Instagram. But here is a photo of him and his professor on the right. It's either his professor or maybe it's a friend. I'm not sure, because he has a brown belt. His professor would probably be a black belt. And then probably his training buddy right here. as you can see, he's a 2-stripe blue belt, and he's probably gonna receive his purple belt because he won this tournament, because he went in as a blue belt with 2 stripes. Typically, if you win first place, especially for your weight class, you go up a belt. So very interesting. Just to give you guys an idea of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belts. So here you go. Never mind the ages on the right. That's just kind of like a, I guess you could say like a default layman's kind of range of age and numbers that they can give parents for kids and stuff like that. But this is how it works with adults 16 and over. You start with a white belt, and then you can go white to blue depending on, you know, how much you ascend in your technique. If it takes a little bit longer, then you'll get stripes on your white belt into the blue belt, and then the blue belt you'll get stripes. Then you go into purple belt, you can get stripes as well. You get stripes on all of them. Basically, it's a degree. And then brown belt is the final step until you get a black belt. And basically what they're saying is the minimum time to receive a black belt is 31 years, which is not true. I have multiple friends that have a black belt, and they've received it within less than 5 years, which is really hard to do. One of my really best friends, close friends, my brother, his name is Rob McCullough. Shout out to Razor Rob, my boy. We've known each other for a long time, and we live close to each other, live in the same city forever. But anyways, he was a brown, I think 2 stripes brown belt, and he's testing it as his black belt. Now, he has been fighting for 20 years, but he's only been doing jiu-jitsu for maybe like 12 years, and he's like a Muay Thai champion. He's been doing jiu-jitsu long, maybe about 15 years. He's a Muay Thai champion though. And he kind of just slept on the jiu-jitsu stuff, and he just always was a blue belt, just always stayed a blue belt, but he won. He was a champion with the WEC, so on and so forth, King in the Cage, WFA. And when he retired from fighting, he stuck to BJJ, and he's on the stepping stone getting his black belt. So when he does get his black belt, we'll probably celebrate and what have you. But yeah, that is kind of like the inside look. You guys can take a screenshot of that. Black belt, after black belt, that's when you get the red and black. That's when that's 7 degree, that's 7 stripes, red, white, and then you have your red belt. That's your grandmaster. All right, so there is some news on Armor Wars. So we'll go ahead and get into this right now.
What happens for roadies?
YouTube TV has no hidden fees and includes unlimited DVR space. YouTube TV, try it free.
What happens for roadie is very connected. Actually, what happens in the entirety of the MCU that starts in Secret Invasion and moves into Armor Wars is connected. Area of State, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you are in the presence.
Whoa.
They put me all the way down here on the front line.
It seems weird that it seems like you'd have a higher position than secretary. That's fine.
Yeah, it was like 20th on the front line.
But you're modest. You don't need all that.
I'm so modest. I'm so modest. But you shouldn't be, because you're doing double projects right now.
I did finish one. I'm about to start the other next year. I'm in the midpoint, but yeah, really exciting to see what's coming next for Rhodey.
How connected are these two stories?
They're connected. They're connected. What happens for Rhodey is very connected. Actually, what happens in the entirety of the MCU that starts in Secret Invasion and moves into Armor Wars is connected.
How is he feeling? I mean, he lost his best friend. There's been so much going on in the world. Like, how is he doing?
I think we're going to find out how he's doing.
He's going to therapy.
If he would, shouldn't he? I mean, we should all be in therapy, but Rhodey really has some reasons to go.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's so good to see you.
All right, so we had an update there on Rhodey and Armor Wars. We have another update for Rhodey and Armor Wars, but there was a question that that was going around the internet, and it was going around for the last like couple days into couple weeks, and it's been a rehashed rumor for the last 2 years, but it's been getting a lot more heat recently. And basically there's rumors going around from clickbait sites saying that Rhodey is going to replace Tony Stark and become the Iron Man. And just to let you know, if you truly believe that and are investing in that, the first appearance of Rhodey as Iron Man in the actual Iron Man suit and colors is Iron Man 170. He's on the cover and in the guts. That's when he takes the mantle when Tony is having his substance abuse problems. But yeah, there's some more information on that, and let's go ahead and check it out.
Hello. Okay, the reaction to you out there was out of this world. I feel like fans are so excited for Secret Invasion, also Armor Wars. Like, how did it feel to be out there, and what does this moment kind of mean to you to be continuing your work in the MCU?
Well, it's great. I mean, you see the fans' response and how they feel about this, and that's why we do it. You know what I mean? To have the opportunity to take this character and deepen him and go to places that we haven't seen before with Rhodey is exciting, and I hope it's something that people, they show up for.
What feels most different about Secret Invasion? Like, it feels kind of thrillery to me in a lot of ways.
And I think that's the fun of these shows, is that we can go into different places, and the advantage of the MCU is that we have all these different characters and all these different genres now really to play with. So yeah, there is a huge thriller aspect to this, which is really cool, and it sets up Rhodey for Armor Wars, and it's just all pluses right now.
Yeah. So you mentioned Armor Wars. There's a lot of rumors that will then lead to you becoming Iron Man. What can you kind of tease, or how do you react to that?
This is the first I've heard of that. So,
No.
So I guess no comment.
Do you see that for the future of this character? Would you like to do that?
I don't know. I mean, I think that Rhodey is his own dude.
Okay.
I don't think that anyone can really step into the Tony Stark Iron Man shoes. I think he's did that as well as anyone could ever do it.
Okay.
But I think we're going to learn a lot more about what Rhodey does want and who he is and what his sort of place in the firmament of MCU will ultimately be. I honestly don't know that much more than you know.
Okay.
That's not true.
I was going to say that you definitely know what the future is of you in the MCU, right?
I know there is a future.
Okay. What about the cast? I mean, we have Samuel L. Jackson. Like, how is it kind of all to work together again? And what was your training
Speaking
process
of Armor Wars
like?
and Secret Invasion,
This is the first time Sam and I have worked together. We've been friends for a long time, but it was great to have scenes, and most all of my scenes were with Sam. So to get to go at it with Sam was a lot of fun.
Is he a fun sparring partner?
He's a very fun sparring partner. We had a great time, and as I said, we're just starting to see what that's going to be and how that relationship will, blossom in the future.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe.
all right. So it sounds like could be a little smoke to that fire. What do you guys think? You think the Iron Man color suits are going to be reappearing onto the MCU Phase 5, 6, and beyond, piloted by James Rhodes? That would be interesting, and that would make this $5 Iron Man 170 book skyrocket. So might be a good idea to go pick one or two of these up. There are Canadian price variants, and there are Mark Jewelers, I believe, for this. If there's not a Canadian price, if it's a Canadian price variant, it'll say 75 cents. It'll have newsstand on there. So just so you know. All right. So the MCU, basically, let me get down here. The MCU, all but confirmed 17 Marvel characters appearing in the next slate. That is just phase 5, not even 6, just phase 5. So we're going to go ahead and go over this and the books that are tied in that I think have a future. I'm sure I left a few out or what have you, but let's get into it. So the first character is going to show up in Echo, and that is Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. So I checked some prices at his first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 50, which is a grail. We all know it's a huge book. Post-pandemic, beginning of this month, I'd say a week and a half ago, a 9.4 sold for $9,600. To give you an idea where prices were for a 9.4, around the same, $9,300. The July of the pandemic, April of the pandemic, it was down almost 25-30%, but we just started getting the money from the government at that point. But that doesn't really make sense, that excuse I just made, because there was a 9.4 that also sold for $9,600. So this person that got it for $7,200 during the midst of the pandemic either got one with, lesser page quality or just didn't present as well as these others. But sounds like these other three gents, or ladies or gents, they paid the premium. So you're basically going to be paying for a book that is probably not going to be declining anytime soon and probably going to be ascending. This is definitely a blue chip key. Here is one that I think has a long-term play. It is cheap. It's still cheap. I mean, you can get this in really high grade for, I believe, in $300 raw, possible 9.2 to 9.6 after a clean and press. But this is ASM 51. This is his second appearance and first cover appearance, I believe. Yes, it is his first cover appearance, and that's pretty damn cool. It's a really cool classic cover as well. You have his third appearance, and this is a cool one too. This is ASM 52. This is your iconic cover art of ASM 60. I believe that's Steve Ditko, but oh wait, it says MCG. Chat, go ahead and tell me who that is. I'm blanking right now, but yeah, that's a real cool one, man. If I found that in high grade, I'd be all over it. I love that cover. Definitely an iconic cover. Here is Daredevil 170. And this is a really important book. A lot of people don't I wouldn't say understand, but they just don't. I guess you could say it's not sought after book, but let me explain why I like this book. Okay. Remember a few shows ago, I was mentioning how Kevin Feige was saying that there's going to be new characters, that'll be new meetings and new team ups and new battles. And I think these books, these team ups, these first appearance in titles, first cover in a certain title, like especially when it's an adversary, like a classic rivalry in the comics. And I just think that they're being overlooked. But here you go. This is a book that should be relatively cheap in the sense this is your first appearance of Kingpin in a Daredevil title. He's on the cover, which is great. Even his name is revealed. Kingpin's name is revealed to be Wilson Fisk as well. Daredevil 171 is your first meeting and battle of Daredevil and Kingpin. So you have your first appearance of Daredevil 170, first appearance of Wilson Fisk, Kingpin in a Daredevil title, which is huge because that's his main adversary, his main rival. And then 171 is the actual first meeting and battle, similar to the Netflix story arc. And there is 171. I love that book. It's not the greatest cover art, but I love the idea of the cover. I think it's very cool. Actually, it is a cool cover. I like that cover. All right. Here is one that has been seeing a lot of heat lately. This is Daredevil 227. Kingpin discovers Daredevil's identity. Born Again Part 1. The Born Again story arc runs through or starts on this issue, and it runs all the way through issue number 233. And if you haven't read Daredevil 227, 228, 229, all the way to 233, take a look at the specs on each one of the books, and what it looks like is it just looks like a remake of the Netflix series. You have 229, first appearance of Sister Maggie Murdock, a nun and Daredevil's mother. She wasn't the mother in season 3, but I believe she was the nun. Origin as well in 229. And 230, Matt Murdock learns that Sister Maggie is his mother, but they didn't go that way with the Netflix, I don't believe. Chapter 4 of the arc shares its name with the Born Again story, which concludes in Daredevil 223. And then you have Daredevil 232. Remember Nuke? First successful mutant test subject of the Weapon Plus series, who became a Weapon 7. He's that dude that was dating Jessica Jones' friend. What's her name? Hellcat. Yeah, the dude that was had the asthma inhaler to make him stronger. So yeah, that's that character. So it sounds like they're just rebooting the Netflix stuff to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. So now here's another cool one. This is Daredevil number 15. And this one goes back to the series of Kate Bishop and the Hawkeye, along with Echo. And basically what we heard at the end of the finale, Echo shoots the Kingpin in the head in this book. Shout out to Jason from CBSI. He was high on this book as soon as that episode dropped. And at that point, this book was only like a $3 or $4 book, and it had a big week that week. I mean, it was up to like $30, $40. Now it's back down. There's newsstand editions as well. This is Kingpin number 1. This is your first solo series under the Kingpin name, title. And, like I say, I mean, you're priced out of, first appearance, second appearance, first cover, first cover, origin, first meeting, or something, in that nature. Go for the first solo series. And this is Kingpin's first solo series featuring Kingpin. Origin, it's a retcon origin, but it's similar, of Kingpin Fisk as a young man on the way to becoming the Kingpin of crime in New York. Yeah. All right, our next character here, we're going to go ahead and get into these scrolls. This is the Secret Invasion Rebel Scroll Leader Gravik. So the Rebel Scroll Leader Gravik, I guess there's no character name that in comics, but there are a few characters that are similar. Remember, guys, this is the MCU continuity. They do things different. They just use the comics as source material, story context building, and then they go their own way. But yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so you have your Fantastic Four issue number 18. That is your first appearance and origin of Claret. Is it Claret? The Super Scroll. That's the first Super Scroll. It's an expensive book. I mean, a 9.2 or above is like a $2,000 book. But I mean, you can get a nice like 3.5 to 4.5 white pages for like $200-300. There's also another first appearance in that book, Emperor Doric. And then you have the second appearance of the Scrolls in general. Fantastic Four, $358. You guys know this book. This saw some heat, but it never really got over like $15. First appearance, Pybok, the Power Scroll, a bionically enhanced captain in the Scroll Empire. And as you know, the Rebel Scroll Leader, they are, I guess they're scripting him or describing him as a leader, and also he is enhanced. He has superpowers. So yeah, this is a cool one. I would have this in my collection just in case. And here's the other one. I've been looking for in long boxes. I haven't had any luck yet. I don't own one yet, but I will. First appearance of Super Skrull with the powers of the Illuminati. First appeared disguised as Black Bolt in World War Hulk #1, similar to like the new Avengers one with Veronica, the Skrull Queen. Recently, Diamond announced a pre-order for a Super Skrull series beginning September 16th. So we'll find out a little bit more. Hopefully, the origin in the new Super Skrull series that dropped last week, I believe, or it's either on pre-order. I think it's on FOC this week. I think that's what it is. Wait, what's today? It's the 21st. So maybe it was on FOC last week. So when this book, Super Skrull, when this series comes out, maybe we can learn a little bit more about this particular Super Skrull. Here is a kind of a leaked toy image of the character that's supposed to be in the MCU. Take that as you will. All right, this one is, we spoke on this one before, and this one is pretty cool in the sense that we have Secret Invasion Special Agent Sonya Falsworth. Now, let's get into this real quick here. We broke a story about a month ago that there were she was heavily rumored to play Union Jack as a gender swap. But let me explain a couple things. So this book right here, Invaders #7, it has 4 first appearances. It's three characters and then one team. So 4 first appearances. A great book to own. It's like a $30 book in high grade. But this is your first appearance of Union Jack James Montgomery Falsworth. Now, remember, this is Special Agent Sonya Falsworth. So let's see here. This is James Montgomery Falsworth, Union Jack. This is also the first appearance. Now, follow me here. First appearance of Jacqueline Falsworth. Later becomes Spitfire. Now, let me read something from this book from the Marvel Wiki. This comes straight from Marvel Comics as intended. As an intended replacement for the Union Jack character. But the costume design. Okay, so basically what they wanted to do is they wanted to replace the Union Jack character with Jacqueline Falsworth, okay, who is Spitfire. But the reason why they couldn't do it is the costume design did not fit the female torso in the comics. So the character of Spitfire, named after the Supermarine Spitfire fighter plane, was created instead. So I'm thinking that this character right here might be Spitfire, but Spitfire in the comics, but possibly going to go MCU. Let's go MCU retcon and let's gender swap Union Jack. Obviously, she's related somehow with the original Union Jack. They have the same last name. So, and then, her name isn't Jacqueline, but I just read you some really important information. They really wanted to gender swap the Union Jack character back in the Invaders run, but unfortunately, according to the artist, the Union Jack costume design did not fit the female torso of the character Spitfire, so they just kept her as Spitfire. So I think the MCU might do their own twist on this. I think this could be the book right here, but let's check out a couple other books. Invaders #18. This is your first appearance of the Destroyer, who later becomes the second Union Jack. Not really interested, to be honest, but let's move on. Here is Invaders #20. This is your first full appearance of the second Union Jack, Brian Falsworth, which is, I believe, Jacqueline's brother. Okay, and then you see Spitfire down there on the left. Jacqueline Falsworth. So I'm thinking, 20 and 7 could be decent books. Here is another book I like as well. This is Invaders #8. This is your second appearance of both characters, the Union Jack and Jacqueline Falsworth, and your first cover appearance of Union Jack. And of course, this one is a very interesting book. I love it. I love the cover. This is Invaders number 12, and this is I believe is your first appearance, like first full appearance and cover of Spitfire. I believe it is. Let me double check that. Yeah, so that would be your first full appearance. Oh no, okay, it's second appearance. Let me double check that. Spitfire. Let's see here. I think it's her second appearance, first cover. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, first appearance of Spitfire. Okay, yeah, so I was right. So you have Invaders number 7. Let's go back. That is your first appearance of Jacqueline Fallsworth. Okay. And then she becomes Spitfire in issue number 12. Okay. I love this because the Nazis on the cover and all the Avengers and Namor and Spitfire and the part of the Fantastic Four, they're kicking their ass. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hate Nazis. So yeah, guys, be aware. So I think you need to pick up Invaders number 7, Invaders number 8, and Invaders number 12. I think it's very important. I think it's a good chance that this special agent Fallsworth is either going to come and play Spitfire or she is going to gender swap Union Jack. It's better to be prepared. Also, there's a kind of like an icing on the cake honorable mention. This is your first appearance of Dr. Faiza Hussein, later becomes Excalibur, and then also in Avengers would assemble, which is out of continuity. She becomes Captain Britain, but Spitfire joins the MI-13. So that makes it even more kind of like suspicious in the sense that this special agent Fallsworth, she's part of MI-13 and Secret Invasion, and there's just so much going on with Jacqueline Fallsworth, who's related to the original Union Jack, the second Union Jack, who's I think her brother, and Spitfire. Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell or Jake Gomez? Let's take a look. So we have Marvel Spotlight number 2 on Werewolf by Night. Let's get a little deeper in here. This is your first appearance of the Werewolf by Night, and it's really important that you guys know that issue 1, I believe, I think it's your first appearance of Dracula, but that could be Werewolf by Night 1. But this is the Marvel Spotlight 2, and that's what's really important about this book. Is it's not a Werewolf by Night book, it's a Marvel Spotlight book, just so you're not confused. And this is your first appearance of Jack Russell, the Werewolf by Night. I don't own this book. I wish I did. I can't find this book anywhere. I love this book. If you guys know, if you find a good deal, DM me. If you guys want to trade, I'm up for trade. But I've always wanted this book, but never had a chance. Some recent sales, a 9.2 sold just the other day for $2,500, which was up like almost 9%. And there was also a 6.5 that sold for $700, and the FMV at that time was about $550, up about 25%. So this book is definitely moving up. Gail Garcia Bernal cast as Werewolf by Night. We just don't know for sure if he's Jack Russell or Jake Gomez, but we know he's Werewolf by Night. You have Marvel Spotlight number 3 in parentheses on Werewolf by Night. Marvel Spotlight 3, second appearance of Werewolf by Night. Also first mention of the Darkhold. Here is Werewolf by Night number 1. This is your first Werewolf by Night titles or solo title series, continued from Marvel Spotlight number 4. This book is another book that I've always looked for, can never find it in a nice grade. You see in the image right here how it's a little bit stained up in the top left. That's pretty common. I've only seen a few that have like where it's like bright white. But yeah, I'd love to have this book as well. I also suggest this book. This is Werewolf by Night 2. This is a Mike Plug classic cover art. I mean, if you look close, it's a really cool cover. I mean, you got the helicopter and the cops are shooting. He's on the dock. They got the net on the Werewolf by Night. Really cool. I'd pick that one up. It's only a $20 book. Tomb of Dracula number 18. This is an important book as well. This is your first battle of Dracula versus Werewolf by Night, and this is also the part one of the 2-part crossover story arc continuing in Werewolf by Night 15, which is right here. This is very important. This is the second part. This is the partial origin and your continued first battle of Dracula versus Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell. This is an important book for the next few characters we're going to talk about, and this is another book on my hunt list, but let's get into it. This is Marvel Premiere number 28, featuring the Legion of Monsters, your first appearance and origin of the team known as Legion of Monsters, which includes Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider, Man-Thing, Morbius, and Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell. And don't forget the new Legion of Monsters roster, which has Elsa Bloodstone, Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell, Morbius, Amphibian, and Nakantu. That's a cool book as well. And don't forget, we had news, and we haven't heard anything since, but there was news that Vampire by Night, Nina Price, was going to show up. And is she still going to show up? I don't know. But this is Amazing Fantasy number 10. There's 2 stories in here. This is the origin of the second iteration of Scorpion, the female Scorpion. And then you have Nina Price, Vampire by Night. First appearance, first cover appearance. Very cool book, low print run, and a great read. This one is important as well. A lot of people are overlooking this book. This is like a $5 to $12 book. This is Amazing Fantasy number 12 from the 2005 series, volume 2. First meeting of Vampire by Night, Nina Price, and Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell. All right, here is Jake Gomez, and front and center right there, Werewolf by Night number 1 from the 2020 series. 2020, I believe 2020, 2021. I think it's 2020. And low print run. Comic-Con was reporting that this book was ordered around $30K by retailers. This is the only cover where he's actually in his alter ego on the cover, which is important. I love this book. Here is the Jeff Viragi open to order variant, Werewolf by Night. This is the Perillo exclusive variant for Werewolf by Night 1. And then you have the 1 in 25, I believe, and 1 in 50, or 1 in 50 and 1 in 100. They're just real high ratio incentives on a low print run book. If you can find these, man, for a good price, kudos. Here's one I added just for shits and giggles. This is a classic cover art, Werewolf by Night 4. You won't find this in Key Collector or anywhere else. But this is a really dope cover, and it's the variant for the open. There's only 2 covers, cover A, cover B, open to order for issue 4. It's low print run too. I think when I checked Comic-Con, less than 14K ordered by retailers, and this is just the variant. But yeah, if you can find this book, man, kudos to you. That's sick cover art right there, and that has long-term ching-ching all written all over it. I love it. All right, we have Werewolf by Night, Elsa Bloodstone. Here we go. Of course, you guys know Bloodstone number 1. This is her first appearance, first cover, and origin of Elsa Bloodstone. This is with her prototypical blonde hair. I love this cover. Shout out to Zombie Prophet. I'm pressing this book. Actually, I just got done pressing this book for him. We're sending it to CGC this weekend. Bloodstone. This is the second issue. Second appearance, second cover appearance. Very cool cover. I wanted to add this one as well. This is issue number 4 with Elsa on the cover for the same series, Bloodstone number 4. Giving a callback, it's to Indiana Jones movie poster homage. Very cool. Here is Next Wave number 1. This is your first appearance of the team Next Wave. Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, Elsa Bloodstone, Machine Man, and Tabitha Smith as Boom Boom. Or Tabitha Smith, a.k.a. Boom Boom, as Meltdown. Very cool. And then, of course, this book was, I believe, was on Ben's list last week. This is Avengers Arena number 1. This is your first appearance of Colin Bloodstone. This is Ulysses' son and Elsa's brother. You guys know this one as well. This is Death of Doctor Strange. Bloodstone number 1 is you have your first appearance of Lyra Bloodstone. That's the sister of Elsa, and that is the second print, I believe, 1 in 25. There's also a second print, just normal as well, obviously, because there's a 1 in 25, duh. But it's the same exact cover, and it's got red. Or no, my bad. No. I take that back. This is not a second print. This is the 1 in 10, I believe. It's a 1 in 10. That's right. Duh. It's a 1 in 10. And then they screwed us on the second print, which is the same exact cover, but they put red in the trade. Oh, gosh. Kill me on that one. All right. Werewolf by Night, Man Thing. Of course, you have the iconic Savage Tales, which is a very important book for a few reasons, but let's get into some Man Thing spec. How about that, huh? Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment if you haven't. I appreciate everything you guys have been doing. I appreciate all the support. This was supposed to be a live stream last night, but unfortunately my dad's not feeling well, so I went ahead and pre-recorded this. I got a little bit of marbles in my mouth, a little hub too much, but I'm doing my best. So I hope you guys like this. And if there's anything I can improve on, let me know in the comments section and give me a like. I appreciate it. Now, Savage Tales Magazine number 1. This is your first appearance of Man Thing, Ted Salas. There's also a couple other first appearances in there. That's very important. Now, moving on. This is a pretty cool book. Overlooked, definitely. It's only like in high grade. It's like a $40-$50 book. This is the second appearance and origin of Man Thing. Also the first cover appearance of Bobby Morse. Full name and occupation as government agent revealed in this book. That's Astonishing Tales number 12. I know it says Khazar, but it's Astonishing Tales number 12. Then you have Astonishing Tales number 13. This is your first cover appearance of Man Thing. Very cool. It's like a $60, $70 book in high grade, maybe 80 at the most. Very cool. Very cool. Look at it's a great cover too. And then, of course, you have the first solo series featuring Man Thing, first Man Thing solo titled series from 1973, 1974. It's Man Thing number 1. It's also the second appearance of Howard the Duck in this book, believe it or not. All right, let's move on. Captain America 4, a.k.a. Captain America New World Order. Joaquin Torres, Falcon, the second iteration of Falcon. First appearance is Captain America, Sam Wilson's Captain America number 3. That's his first appearance. Just himself, Joaquin Torres. This is one I like a lot. Sam Wilson, Captain America 5. This is your cameo and cover of the second iteration of Falcon. But this is the one I think you guys should keep your eye on. Low print run, under 5K ordered by retailer. I think under 4,800 ordered by retailers. Sam Wilson, Captain America 5. This is the second print. But this is the book that's basically a $3 to $8 book. But this is your first full appearance of the second iteration of Falcon, Joaquin Torres in story. And then here you have Champion 16. This is when Joaquin Torres' Falcon actually joins the Champions. He's on the cover as well. Captain America 4, a.k.a. New World Order, Sabra, the Israeli super spy. First cameo, Incredible Hulk 250. First full. She's on the cover. Incredible Hulk 256. Captain America 4. New World Order. Let's just say Captain America 4. Isaiah Bradley. I'm glad we get to hear some more about Isaiah Bradley. Little bit of confusion in the market now. Truth, Red, White, and Black #1 is a very important book for multiple reasons, but just so I can clear the air, this is actually Isaiah Bradley's first appearance, but he doesn't become the super soldier until later. So we'll talk about that in a second. That's issue #4. This is your first appearance of Isaiah Bradley becoming Captain America. Now, in issue #3, he is given the super soldier serum beyond, I believe, beyond his wishes. But he first dons the actual Captain America uniform, which a lot of people want to know or want to see. Want to see, read in the guts of issue #4. Okay. And that is this issue here. This is Truth, Red, White, and Black, issue #6. This is your first featured full cover appearance of Isaiah Bradley as Captain America. It's very important because you get some detailed look at him. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then don't forget his son. This is Josiah X, the son of Isaiah Bradley, who later becomes Justice. This is his first appearance, which is The Crew #1. This is from July, the summer of 2003. Here's a cool one. Captain America 4, The Leader. A couple of things about The Leader. I was saying on a broadcast, I don't remember where, but I was saying something like, when I first heard that The Leader was coming to the MCU, coming back to the MCU, because he showed up in Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk in 2008. But the first thing I thought was like, wow, maybe all those rumors about the MCU getting the Hulk rights to do an individual film, maybe they're coming too. Maybe there's some base to those rumors. But I don't know. Let's get into this and let you guys decide. Here is your first appearance of The Leader. I believe this is in Cameo. This is Tales to Astonish. This is issue #62. Very cool cover. I think that's a Jack Kirby cover, but correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that's a cool book. But the next one is the one I think that is the money book. And this is the Tales to Astonish issue #63. This is your first full appearance of The Leader. Yeah, it's a cool book. Shout out to, who was that Comic Speculator content creator? I forgot his name. He's from Canada, but he does 5 books. He was talking about 62 and 63 like 5 years ago, talking about The Leader, talking about the humanoid. Yeah, so very interesting. Now, here's one that is being overlooked as well, especially with today's new market standards and how much people love cover appearances. This is Tales to Astonish 64. This is your second full appearance of The Leader and your first cover appearance of The Leader. This is a very cheap book. This is also the second appearance of Automa as well. Automa is confirmed for Black Panther 2, I believe. Yeah. Here's one that's interesting. This is Thunderbolts #4. Thunderbolts #4 is your first cameo appearance of Red Leader. So this is when he becomes a part of the Thunderbolts under Thunderbolt Ross, and he is pumped full of red gamma ray that Ross carries with him, and he becomes the Red Leader. Here's your first full appearance and first cover appearance of Leader as the Red Leader. Looks pretty cool. All right, Thunderbolts Yelena Belova, Black Widow 2. This is her first appearance. This is Inhumans issue #5. And then this is her second appearance, first cover appearance, Black Widow #1. This is the variant. She's on the Dynamic Forces variant, and she's also on the back cover of the cover A. First solo titled as well. Interesting book, cheap. Thunderbolts 128. This is your first appearance of Yelena Belova as a Thunderbolt, but 8 issues later, there was like some kind of retcon of some sort. And yeah, that was basically that was it. So let's see here. That's it for now, guys. I have some pickups I wanted to show you guys. So I grabbed this. This was in fine condition, my comic shop, for $23. I got it, and it's in really good condition. So I wanted to show you guys. My dad, he loves going to secondhand stores and finding books for me. He says one day he's going to find the first appearance of Amazing Spider-Man for me, AF-15. But he got me the massive Dark Horse, the massive number 11 Dark Horse. Here is Faith and Fire. I never heard of that. Here is a early Silver Age Gold Key Lord Jim issue. I'm not sure what issue that is. But, yeah. He also, these are all 50% off the sticker price. This is Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 74. This is straight from the secondhand store. The Massive number 15. Massive number 2. Legends of the Dark Knight issue number 75. This one's cool. It's a free comic book day, Cyberforce and Hunter Killer. First look. He got me this, Southern Bastards number 4. And he found this, Kanan, the Last Padawan number 1. This is the BAM exclusive variant. Shout out to my dad. He's freaking awesome. And last but certainly not least, I picked this up today at the LCS for $15. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed everything. There's going to be a second part to this video as well, and that part will be played during the pickup show on Thursday. So please like, subscribe, comment. I love y'all. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all your blessings and DMs and stuff with what's going on with my dad. Have a great new comic book day, and I'll see you on the flip side.